What up, what up, what up, what up? My name is Fresh. Here with Vic, Keith,
What's the deal?
and my boy CB, Chad Bell, my brother. He's going to be our guest today at Classic Conversation. We thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you coming and being lending your expertise, your understanding, and just your conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Chad is a coach for the Clippers. Definitely a long time coming. Just a gentleman of all sorts. Play ball, I think college ball, as well as you had a short stint in the
Played overseas in Europe. Played in the NBA Development League, now known as the NBA G League. So, been around, bounced around a little bit.
Right,
experienced some different stuff. You know what I mean?
I heard that EuroLeague was pretty tough though.
Like it was tough.
The
So
rules
I was
different, right?
Yeah, so it's more so international rules. So, like when Team USA goes to play, in the world games or in the Olympics and whatnot. So those rules basically are similar. But it's still basketball, still two hoops.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different. But it was definitely fun nonetheless.
Cool. So yeah, definitely appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
And again, like I said, Vic, Keith, these are my co-hosts. Phil's supposed to be here, but unfortunately he has some medical problems going on with his wife. So send a shout out to him, and definitely prayers up for my boy Phil's wife and his family. Well, being that there's an age difference between kind of the four of us here, the conversation always comes up about music, right? The difference of our generation versus their generation. I mean, I be trying to say that we all millennials, but he always want to remind me that even still, I'm an old man. It's I think it's more the grays than anything. But luckily though, he definitely has a good ear for music. He still fucks with a lot of the classic shit, Tupac, Quick.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit that we consider to be near and dear or classic.
Yeah,
right?
Was DJ Quick a gangster or was he a rapper? Or a rapper
gangster? He was a gangster turned rap singer.
Not a gangster.
Well, so was he
not
the
a
first
gangster.
real gangster?
He exercised one muscle. That's his strap finger. Shout out to Quick, man, one of my favorite artists. I hope you watching this.
I'm not really 100% sure, but DJ Quick came out before Banging on Wax, didn't he?
He did.
So yeah, one of the first rapper to really
He
bang
one
on
of the
Wax.
first, right?
I mean, he said that. He definitely said that. He definitely said, "I'll."
The red tape.
The red tape is what set it off. He came out straight gangster.
Yeah, DJ Quick my favorite rapper, side note, but
Speaking of favorite rappers, though, I mean, your boy Nas, man, that nigga's like the truth. You know what I'm saying?
So is that your favorite rapper?
Shout out to Nas.
He's my favorite rapper, and he just so happens to be the best rapper of all time too.
I'm not
Did y'all know that?
So
He's in my top
like
five. He's in
that's
my
what
top
you're
five.
saying?
No, listen to me again. I don't think you guys heard me.
No, I definitely heard you.
Nas
I'm
is
just
my
saying.
favorite rapper.
Okay.
And he just so happens to be the best rapper of all time.
Now, I mean, that kind of ties
heard
in with
about
you
it.
saying that he's your favorite rapper, but to say he's hands down the best rapper, that's kind of.
I don't think y'all heard me, but go
Okay,
ahead though. I mean,
no,
what do you
it's-
think,
it's-
Vic? I mean, who's your favorite rapper? You said Quick, right?
He's a Quick.
for sure.
He's a Quick.
Yeah, but I still don't even think Nas is the best rapper though.
See, you didn't hear me either, Vic. So Chad,
honestly,
who
look, he
you
crazy.
like?
Look, I honestly think I don't really like Nas's beat selection over
Nah,
his
he
catalog
don't.
of his.
He don't have a good. He don't have a good beat selection.
That's just my thing.
But
I fuck with Nas as an artist. Of
Yeah.
course, everybody gonna fuck with Nas. But I'm saying as far as me continuously going back to go find Nas shit, no.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm sorry to
what do
hear
you
that.
think? What do you think about Nas's beat selection though?
I think Nas is a great mind, a hell of a thinker. So I don't think he thinks in terms of what's everybody else may be doing it in hip hop. I think he kind of does his own thing. He likes stuff that's very much different, and then that makes Nas who he is. Like, to me, I hear what you guys are saying, but if you really go listen to his work, a lot of those beats are super dope. Super dope. They just don't get the attention, and then like Nas is not the type that he runs to the who's in of the mainstream in terms of production right then and there. Like, he does mess with them, but he just makes music, man. Like, he's a true fucking artist, man. Just
I mean, I would say his music has more substance than a lot of rap, but I would say like just the fact that his career hasn't like dominated over time. Like, you could take like other rappers, you could take Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z has definitely matriculated over time throughout all his bodies of work and stuff like that, and gets through to my age group just as well as still to his age group. So it's like when Nas dropped, Beyonce dropped some shit on the same day. It's kind of like
that wasn't by accident too, FYI.
That was definitely on purpose for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't think it's like the same type of. It doesn't have the same effect music wise. I'm not saying like he's any less of an artist, but I'm just saying when you say best artist, like the best rapper, I just think the effect that it has on the people for the most part.
So have you listened to Illmatic?
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's the nigga's hardest.
That's
body
the
of work.
worst. Like, that's the pinnacle for
right.
it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like I think Illmatic has definitely cemented his position as classic artist, like one of the greatest, top 5, easily. Whether you have him in your top 5 or not, he's definitely a top 5 artist. But solely based on Illmatic. Illmatic was one of the greatest hip hop projects ever. But I can't say that. Like, I unfortunately have to agree with Jay-Z, where it's like Illmatic was the top for him, and everything after that was downhill. He's a dope rapper. He's one of the dopest rappers, like MCs. I have to say, not even a rapper, but an MC. But when you look at bodies of work, Illmatic is his best, hands down, and it's like it's a very big gap between Illmatic or any one of his other records. Like, none of his other records could even come close to Illmatic. And so for that, I can say that I can definitely see how you can say that he's the greatest in your opinion.
What's that one album
but his body of work doesn't support that.
What's that one album with D Evil's on there by Jay-Z?
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt. That's
and who was his business partner at that time with Rockefeller? What was his name?
Dame
Dash. That's the one that Dame owns. Dame owns that.
Dame doesn't own
the rights to that, doesn't he?
I thought Jay had his masters.
He does.
And when he sold,
Rockefeller to Def Jam, they gave him the CEO to president of Def Jam. The deal was to get his masters back for.
But my point isn't that
Doubt.
like an album that people would say that was one of Jay-Z's best works right there?
It is. It's a classic album.
But I think just hitting along with what John hit on, and I didn't want to agree with him, but I see where he's going. I do agree. Like, if you look at Jay-Z, to a true hip hop ear, they're gonna say Jay-Z's best album, and I think it is too, is Reasonable Doubt. But the thing of it is, he made so many albums after that were just so killer that he kind of got greater with time. Right. Whereas I think you're just saying, and I'm a Nas, I'm biased, so it hurts me to just hear that. But I think that Nas, he came out so hard, hit everybody upside the head so hard that no matter what he did, it was like a lose-lose, because everybody always looked at it as like, Illmatic. But I beg to differ. I mean, Stillmatic was crazy to me.
It was good too. Yeah, it was crazy.
So
I think part of it is like what you're saying is that came out so tough that how like for the first 5 years of his career, everybody was saying go back to Nasty. Remember, he was Nostradamus and all of these other and niggas is like, man, when we gonna get Nasty Nas back? Like, when you gonna go back to the type of Nas that was on Illmatic? And they never let him live that down. Like, it was literally like, when we gonna get that Nas back? And I feel like maybe rapping wise, as an MC, lyrics, I feel like he was still the same Nas, but the factor that made the most that lend the most to this argument is the fact that his beat selection, the first project, Illmatic, was he had classic producers, like all of the classic producers of that time, Premier, Q-Tip, who else? Pretty much all the Large Professor, all of these classic producers of that time he had on Illmatic, and he had the best of their like dope producers, and he had the best beats that they gave. But then as he went on, he like the next project is something that instead of having somebody executive produce it, he picked the beats and he put it together the way he thought it should be, as opposed to on your first album you're taking input from people because it's like your first one. So that's where his downfall was instead of having other people like say you should go do this or do this, or he listened. I feel like as he went further, took it more upon himself, and his beat selection, it was lacking. He got 3 or 4 records on any given album that are just dope. But then some of them are just like, okay, I love what you're saying.
You know how
the
dope
beats is lacking.
We know how dope Nas is. Like, but what do you guys think about the new cats that's out now, or the new age rap, or even hip hop after all of the Nas and Jay-Z beef and all that?
What you mean, like after the beef?
Yeah, just all of the music that came out after that, and some of the new shit that's out now. I mean, what do y'all think about that?
I mean, because
are y'all still rap enthusiasts? Like how it used to be?
Like how he said with the Nas and the Jay-Z, like for instance, that was an era that fueled the best out of everybody, because when you get Nas and Jay-Z being at odds for so long, and these diss records making it onto albums, they fueled competition and brought the best out. Even Jay-Z brought the best back out of Nas with a lot of that beef, and that was kind of the general consensus around that time was artists with beef. And these are credible artists, and it wasn't like to kind of go into the difference of how things are consumed. Then if you did a diss record, they put it on wax, put it on your album, the radio will play it. Nowadays, beef is what? Instagram memes and stuff, right?
You can say you gotta respond.
You gotta respond in a certain amount of time.
Or like Soulja Boy and Old Boy, like squaring up each other squaring on live, like that's one of the funniest things I ever saw. Like, I don't know how you square up on somebody on FaceTime. That's crazy. But go ahead.
I think that makes a big difference in how when you kind of go backwards, it makes a big difference in how the music is made. It's determined more so how the music is consumed, even to the point of like with beef.
Do you
like
enjoy the music
like
how you enjoy old school music?
I mean, but for me.
For you or anybody, Vic, like all of y'all, do y'all enjoy this?
Not. I don't think I enjoy.
You enjoy
all
Amigos,
of it.
where really ain't no culture behind culture.
I don't think I should enjoy it as much as I did back then. For one, it was newer. I mean, obviously, I feel the music was better across the board, for sure. But this is this generation's time to speak. These dudes are 18, 19 years old in their 20s. I'm 30. I'll be 36 in October. So why should I be truly like really hard into what they doing? I mean, I think they making that music. I think a lot of it is I don't understand it. It ain't for me. Like I said, I think across the board, I really, really, truly feel that X amount of years ago, or when I was really like younger, I feel like that music that was coming out was better quality, more stuff said that was dope. It's a lot of the music I'm listening to now, I don't even understand what they're saying. I really don't understand.
Right. I mean, like I was kind of saying earlier, when we were talking about as far as like Young Thug, like I don't respect what he represents or how he represents himself. But
what does he represent?
Well, I think personally he represents a group of people that I ain't really for. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he represents that. I really think that might be more of a.
I mean, him and Uzi kind of got a little.
For the most part, for me, I think it's just like different perspectives for different places. So like, I went to school in Seattle. Right. I went to grad school in Chicago. So it's like I went to Chicago. the day I moved to Chicago is the day Chief Keef dropped that video. I don't like video in the living room, so it's like that's
Which
the
was
first
hard
time
as fuck, by the way.
Right, but it's the first time you ever seen 100 young niggas in the room with a bunch of guns and shit like that. Now it's every video, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but when I first got there, I was fresh off of YG Just Read Up too. I'm 19 years old, you know what I'm saying? When I leave home, so my perspective was a little bit different on the music until I actually got to sit there. And like same thing with Atlanta. Like first time I went to Atlanta, niggas in Atlanta really fuck with Young Thug because they be like, well, in the streets he was this, and this, so we give him this amount of respect amid the dresses and this, and this, and that. Right. You know what I mean? So I be like, because when you talk to people from out of state, they talk about E40 and Sugar Free like these niggas is aliens. Like they be like, Sugar, what the fuck is he doing? He got a slick back ponytail with a silk shirt on, talking about da-da-da-da. But it's perspective though. A nigga that's not from the West Coast not gonna understand it, you know?
You got to get ready.
Man, I don't know. The real respect it, man. You go in certain parts of the country, they mess with Sugar Free.
For sure,
You know, they mess with our artists, man. Don't get it twisted, but you know, a lot of people gonna try to fight it because they're not really trying. But if you look at these artists that we're talking about, the E40s, the Sugar Free, you got to be crazy if you're saying stupid stuff about these dudes because obviously you ain't listen to the music, you ain't listen to what they saying.
But I think Vic, your point was that there's different opinions from people that live in different places.
Yeah,
and
different understanding of it.
No doubt.
And different leniency to certain things too.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, for a long time, Stacey Adams, nigga in Perm, that shit was whack to me. That shit is whack to me. But I mean, Stacey Adams, as I get older, they kind of like cool. Like, all right, I might grab me a
shit.
bit.
Look at what YG doing now. Like that's all the old gangbang shit that niggas used to wear a long time ago.
But a dress though.
Nah, I mean that's OD. I don't support that at all. I don't support none of that.
That's
I don't
out,
support
right?
face tats.
Right, John.
Face
That's out, right?
None of that.
I'm just letting them finish, but
Yeah,
of course
no,
it's out.
it's out.
Of course it's out, bro.
It's out.
Of course, you ain't got to ask me that question, but you know.
But does he make good music, and does that matter if he makes still?
I mean, you got to ask yourself, what is good music today? Like, is it catchy? Yes, it's catchy. Does it sound good in the car when you rolling? Yeah, but that's kind of more so the vibe and the beat. Does he make good music? That's subjective because you have to ask yourself, you know, what are you really grading it? You know, what's your grading scale, right? Good music. Well, are we talking about lyrics? Because if it's about lyrics, it's trash. Because ain't no lyrics. You can barely understand what the fuck he's saying. But if you talking about does it sound good, the beats are incredible a lot of times.
Heat for sure.
You feel me? So yeah, I'll put some of his records on in the car. Yeah. But that's not something if I'm trying to be introspective or in a place where I really want to think about things or I want to set the scene for something that's going to make me think. He definitely had the one that's going. But there are seldom any artists now that will put me in that mode, short of J. Cole, Kendrick, and you know some of these underground cats like it's a cat named Sky Zoo. Right. You got the Joey Joey Badass.
Hey,
you know
Joey Badass was at 1999. Was that the album?
And see, Joey Badass is so dope because he like
Badass
really straight out of 1994 with his shit. Like he's dope as hell.
Yeah.
That nigga said, I turned down signing to The Rock because I'm still signed to The Rock. Some shit that nigga said like.
Joey Badass is stupid.
Hard
He's
shit.
very, very underrated. Very,
Yeah,
Like,
he got an old
16?
soul. He
When
got
that
an
shit
old
came out?
soul. He got an old soul.
Shit.
I mean,
Snakes in the Grass, nigga, that nigga got
yeah.
hits.
But that's the thing. Like that shows you right there the appreciation for the music in this day and age. It's not the music that we consider to be good music.
Right.
It's not appreciated. Otherwise, that would be in the forefront.
Right.
And it's not. So you got more promotion, more corporate dollars behind the gimmicks of dresses and the fake blood trend. And I say fake because I don't believe all these niggas is really out there banging. But that's where the money is behind that. The money is behind foolery. You know, I respect gangsters. I respect real gangsters.
Right.
I don't respect no fake shit or niggas that's out there perpetrating. So that I don't respect, but it seems like the corporate dollars for promotion and advertisements is behind, like my nigga Mike Stroh would always say, coon buffoonery. Straight coon buffoonery, which takes us back to like step and fetch it and blackface. Right. It's like the modern day coon. a lot of artists today. And I'm not saying that's what Young Thug is, but I'm saying the gimmicks, you know, from the eyes of a slave master, from the eyes of a slave master, it looks the same.
Right, right.
Either you're gonna be a strong presence, or it's kung buffoonery.
Right, right.
And to the slave master, those gimmicks are definitely kung buffoonery.
Yes, sir.
What you think?
I do see that today's time. It's a lot of gimmick, and it's just a lot of stuff that you see, and it's like, why? You know, why is this particular person or band or whatever? Why are they doing this? But I mean, it's the time we live in. You know, you see it because people are going to pay attention to it because we live in a social media driven society. So, you know, a little on subject but off subject at the same time, it's more opportunity to be seen too.
For sure.
You know, whereas years ago you weren't able to just step on this platform available and then be exposed to the whole world. You know, you had to really get the attention of the record execs by literally getting their true attention.
Right.
Whereas you can put something out there in the internet world and it can catch on 3 months later because it came across the right eyes because it started trending or whatever. So it's just
the
different
Twitter
time.
sphere, right?
Yeah, there you go. I was searching for that, but I couldn't get that.
Ice Cube and I forget what movie, but yeah. I totally
I
agree
did
with
say
you.
hip hop was dead though, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I like what he did with that. I mean, y'all didn't like the Hip Hop is Dead album, y'all.
I mean, no, that's what's there. I mean,
But like, I think him doing that made a statement. It kind of got people talking. That's what he wanted.
was that before or after Jim Jones had said he was gonna slap the kufi off his head? That was a serious question. No, I'm dead. So you don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
remember
What?
him
Yo,
saying
so
that.
when Nas went on the radio and was like, Cameron put out an album, he was like, I feel like he not representing New York right. He not coming with the right bars. He got a lot of what did he say? He said he had a lot of nursery rhyme raps. And so then Nas,
He said that
Nas
Nas.
No, Nas said this about Cameron when Cameron put out an album.
Yeah.
And then they put out the Dipset Volume 2, and then Jim Jones was on there like, oh, Nas want to talk all that shit. I'll slap the kufi off your head. Woo, woo, woo.
Damn.
Even Fat Joe, like, just in a recent Vlad TV interview, he was like, that's when I moved from New York. He was like, I knew New York was about to go crazy because everybody was beefing with each other. And he was like, you tell Nas you about to slap the kufi off his head. Like, that's a legend. So I had to
Nas
get up
rolled
out of
with
there.
killers too.
Facts.
I'm sure Jim and them too do too.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
disrespect. I'm just.
Right. But I was just
Yeah.
saying, I didn't know if that was before or after, or if that had anything to do with that. But yeah, I'm going to have to look that up real quick on the break or something.
Right, just
What's
right.
beef?